A church in the Bible Belt has converted to Islam, and the leaders are claiming that Christians and Muslims worship the same God. Incredibly, a Christian church in North Carolina has been converted into a mosque, and the church leaders are claiming that it is because Christians and Muslims worship the same God. One leader even admits to personally worshiping Allah. Christianity is under assault by culture and under persecution by Muslims in the Middle East. Yet some church leaders are handing over their congregations to the wolves. The crosses have been removed, and according to one of the pastors, what they were attempting to do is honor our tradition, and so they wanted to turn the crosses over to us, said the Reverend Jim, pastor of St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Smithfield, a small town in Johnson County, about 45 minutes south of Raleigh. They were reaching out to us, and we were reaching out to them. The pastor then proceeded to state that he was joined by pastors from the United Methodist Church, United Church of Christ, and 3 different Baptist congregations at Saturday's ceremony, which marked the official conversion of a former Pentecostal church into a mosque. The pastor said Christianity and Islam share common origins in scriptures, and that he felt it was the right thing to do to participate in the mosque opening as a show of respect for Islam, a fellow monotheistic faith. A show of respect for Islam while they behead and slaughter Christians all over the Middle East. Christians, Jews, and Muslims are all people of the book, and we all claim what the Hebrew Scriptures call the Abrahamic faith. The pastor told WND, "We call it the Old Testament, and Muslims also claim the Bible." Islam teaches the Bible was corrupted by Jews and Christians, and that the Quran was the final perfected revelation of Allah as given by the angel Gabriel to the Prophet Muhammad. The pastor said he is aware of these teachings. All of us humans are imperfect. We all struggle, and we all look to the divine for inspiration. And we don't always get it right, he said. But he said despite being imperfect, the Islamic faith worships the same God as Christianity and Judaism. The pastor said he has personally worshipped Allah with Muslims during interfaith gatherings in Raleigh. Proof that Allah is the same as God the Father in Christianity is that Coptic and Palestinian Christians use the Arabic word Allah for God, he said. The Quran teaches that Jesus was not the Son of God and did not die on a cross to save humanity from sin. In fact, the Quran teaches Jesus faked his death on the cross when one of his followers died in his place. In the mainstream of Islamic doctrine, Jesus will return in the last days to break the crosses and convert the world's Christians to Islam, by force if necessary. But the pastor said he would not be deterred by any of these doctrinal differences. We run a danger when we paint any faith tradition with a broad brush, he said. I don't know that faking his death on a cross is a belief held by everyone in Islam. I do know they see Jesus very differently than we do. They see him as a prophet, not the Son of God. And like other monotheistic faiths, they are challenged by the doctrine of the Trinity. I would challenge any Christian theologian to define the mystery of what we call the Trinity. It's just a doctrine that is in many ways incomprehensible. We all struggle with it. Obviously, I'm a Christian, and I would not live comfortably within the full teachings of Islam, but I can recognize where we share teachings and recognize the call to treat one another mercifully, and as the one God treats us mercifully, and that translates equally into Christianity as well as it does Islam. The mosque purchased the former church building on 4 acres for $230,000. Not all Christians are buying the interfaith sentiments expressed by the pastor and the other pastors who participated in the mosque conversion ceremony. Similar origins, asks an incredulous Ralph Sidway, author of the book Facing Islam and a blog by the same name. Common origins in scriptures. This pathetic, deceived pastor should be severely reprimanded by his bishop, if not defrocked and excommunicated for deceiving his flock and denying Christ in such a blatant manner, Sidway, who is Orthodox Christian, writes in his blog. Read my book, Facing Islam, for a clear explanation of why the same God heresy, which this pastor Jim undoubtedly follows, presents a different gospel, a different Jesus, and a different spirit. Interesting times we live in. God bless and carry on.